You got nothing on me.
This ain't the movies, herbs, so stop talking in cliches.
This ain't the movies, it's a cliche.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Sacha.
Pleasure, thank you very much.
Very excited about meeting you and finding all about Tuesday. So you've made an independent film called Tuesday, and it's starting to do very well. But can you tell us a little bit more about it?
The film is set in the 80s, and it's a bank heist thriller, not a gangster movie, as you might assume with a British independent movie coming out. And it's basically the kind of the premise is what happens when three groups of people rob the same bank on the same day. So there's obviously the madness of what that sort of brings.
Okay. Well, I realise you're all having quite a day. I need you to open the safe.
Put the gun down, or I'll shoot.
You've got some pretty high profile British actors, Glenister, John Simm, Kevin McNally.
Yeah.
How do you get people like that on board?
I took surveillance photos of them doing... No. I begged. I knew John Simm beforehand. Unfortunately, at the same time that we were supposed to be shooting, he was in a play in the West End called Elling. So he was really like, oh, mate, you know, I don't think I can do it any other time of the year. I'm there. And anyway, so I begged and bought him more Guinness. And he said he'd look at the scripts again and sort of pick a part that wasn't necessarily the lead part. So John came on board very quickly. And Phil Glenister, who obviously rose to sort of international stardom thanks to Life on Mars with John. When I first gave the script to him and John, they both assumed that I'd want them to play the cops investigating, because there's a double act kind of cop characters, and which I didn't. Far from it. I actually sat Phil down and said, no, I want you to play the bad guy. His eyes lit up. He's like, oh, right now we're talking.
Yeah, well, I've done my homework. I knew when the bank held the most cash.
Cash? You were after the cash?
The other thing as well, obviously, it's nice to be creative with films, but money is also very important. So as you were filming, how conscious were you of your budget and having to keep within it?
Being the other producer, very aware. sometimes a bit too aware, and Nick, my cinematographer, sometimes wishes that I wasn't a producer on the various things that we've done, because I could stamp my feet as a director and go, no, it has to be this way, it has to be red, no, I want it to be an Aston Martin. But he's fully aware that the other half of my brain, which is the producing brain, will kind of go, well, if we get an Aston Martin, then we can't afford, you know, the gunfight or what have you. And it's actually quite a nice balance, I think, that to sort of be the writer and director and producer, it means you don't have to phone people up and get a decision or get something to happen quickly. And what's nice with low budget filmmaking is you have to find a solution for something. On a Hollywood movie, they go, oh God, we can't shoot that way. And so they'll spend $5 million building that thing, location, whatever it is, in a studio, and they'll shoot it the way that they wanted initially. And so you start thinking slightly outside the box and go, well, how can I nail this scene? And then you start going, oh, and then 90% of the time, whatever the solution is, it actually turns out to be a better decision than your initial one. It's all about problem-solving filmmaking, certainly at the indie level. It's about figuring out
how you get from A to B.
Yeah, in the quickest amount of time without spending any money.
I'll be there Tuesday.